am I hyped for the new Joker movie? Honestly, no. Cowboy, to be fully honest with you, for several reasons. I was excited initially because they were like, this movie's gonna be a musical. And I was like, that's great, you know, you did the first movie and it was basically Taxi Driver, right? Or, you know, some sort of De Niro movie, something like that. I don't know, some Michael Scorsese big thought provoking film. So I was like, yeah, just keep doing this, you know, make these pretentious films, change the genre a little bit. They announced it was going to be a musical, and I was like, cool. Now we have Todd Phillips saying that basically the entire marketing for the Joker movie so far has been, I'm ashamed to be in this film. That's pretty much what everyone has said. You have, you know, Todd Phillips, who's like, it's not really a musical. He just sings sometimes. Like, yeah, that's a fucking musical, bro. And then you have him be like, we're not doing we're not doing Harley Quinn the way that she's been for these past few years. And it's not that, you know, you have to keep a character the same, but you do have to keep the core elements of the character. The core elements don't exist. It's not a character. So, you know, I mean, the first movie is very ashamed of being a comic book film. I mean, it's, you know, it's in the thing. And then Todd Phillips even was like, this version of Arthur doesn't become the clown prince of crime. And it's like, that's his whole fucking thing, dude. That's the Joker's thing. He's crazy. He's, you know, he's crazy. And he becomes the clown prince of crime. So Todd Phillips is ashamed of it being a superhero film. He's ashamed of it being a musical. And it's just like, bro, what are we doing with this movie? What is the target audience for this movie? What is the movie trying to do? Other than just be essentially brain rot. It can be as pretentious as it wants, but if there's no solidified audience, there's no solidified theme, there's no solidified purpose, you're brain rot. You can, you know, be as pretentious and as thought provoking as you try to be, but at the end of the day, what are you doing? And for those who are watching over on YouTube, this is Paradox from Deadpool and Wolverine. I think that it looks perfect, and I'm not going to change anything about him. I think this might be my favorite one. I think this might... no, Cassandra's definitely... I like Cassandra. All right, how do you spell? Oh, man, I got to find a pun for Paradox. I can't even think of one for Paradox. Paradox. I will figure out. Let's see. Who else am I talking to? Hello, Ricky. Hello, Harry. Hello, Phoenix. Hello, Mickey. Hello, Schnaps. Hello, Pathy. Hello, Dennis. And connecting now is Cowboy. How's it going, bud?
You?
How's it going, dog?
Yeah, it's been a minute.
It has.
Yeah, I don't know. I really love Joaquin Phoenix Joker. I just really love his Joker.
I mean, I personally was never a fan of Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. And not in necessarily the portrayal. Like, I like him and I like the film, but I think the biggest thing, and it's not a bad thing, but very much the movie was, it's not a superhero film at the end of the day, and that's what it was trying to be, right? And I think that that's the biggest thing, at least in my opinion, with the Joker film, is that I wasn't the target audience for it. Simple as that. I wasn't the target audience for it, and that's fine. That doesn't make it a bad film by any means. I watched it when it. I think I'd watched it a month after it came out, and I watched it in the theater, and it's a fine film. But I'm not a fan of it because, like I said earlier, it's just a big, pretentious movie. It's one of those old school, you know, trying to say something important about society sort of films, and they just slap the DC label on it to get comic book fans interested. And I'm not against that as a marketing strategy. And again, it doesn't necessarily make it a bad film, but I'm not the target audience for it. The only reason why I was kind of excited for Joker 2 they were like, it's a musical, and I love musicals. So I was like, cool, like that might be interesting. And then you can lean into the pretentiousness of those sort of films and, make an old school, kind of changing the genre a little bit. I thought that might be interesting to do with you know, that version of Joker. But now with the press tour with Todd Phillips coming out and being like, it's not really a musical, like, it's lost my interest, especially with, like I said, just a lot of the marketing.
I get what you're saying, but I mean, we gotta get a new Joker. You know what I mean? Everybody's in the past on Heath Ledger, and I get it. Heath
Yeah.
Ledger's Joker was phenomenal. No discredit to Heath Ledger, but so we got Joaquin Phoenix as Joker now, and we have a new Joker coming in. What's that guy's name from Saltburn? I can't get his name. He played in Saltburn, but he's gonna be in the the Joker for
Barry
the next Batman.
Barry Keenigan, something like that. I know you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah, that's his name. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes in the next Batman movie, but I don't know. If that doesn't go, I don't know. I really liked Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. I thought he had Joker's laugh down to a T.
Yeah, and that's my big thing. I don't think that Joaquin Phoenix was bad at all. I just think the film was quite boring for what it was trying to be.
No, for sure. There was, and it also is a slower film too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very slow.
And that's the biggest thing is that, that's what it was trying to do. Like I said, it was trying to be one of those old school, thought-provoking sort of films. And it worked. And I think that as a film works. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because because I think, if I'm not wrong, towards the end, he was planning on killing himself on the live TV, correct?
Yeah.
But he didn't. But I liked the movie, and I thought it was just slow. That was my only downfall on it. I thought it was really slow. I liked how we got to see Bruce Wayne. We got to see all the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the only thing with the Bruce Wayne thing is that Arthur in this movie is like 30 and Bruce Wayne's like 10, which means you have a 30-year-old Batman just punching an elderly man.
Yeah, basically.
But yeah, no, and like I said, I think it was a good movie. I just don't think I personally was the target audience for the film. So, and which is fine. Like, and I think I'm pretty good at being objective. At least I think that I am. So I can say I understand why the Joker did so well. I just don't, like I said, I just wasn't for me.
No, for sure. And I don't know what they're gonna do with the second one. I don't know the plot. I know Lady Gaga is as Harley Quinn, and I know they're going into the asylum, and I think it's basically how they met, correct?
Yeah, it's pretty much just gonna be Harley Quinn and the Joker together, and I think that's the other big problem, in my opinion, with the film is that Todd Phillips was like, we're gonna do everything that you know about Harley Quinn, except we're not gonna do any of that, and he was very clear about him wanting to, like, they're basically just, again, not doing anything. She's not gonna have her accent, which they try to make her accent seem like it's like a bad thing, like that's not how people talk. But
Wait, what? I didn't know that.
like he was just like, we're not gonna do it was just the way he said it. He was like, we're not gonna have her do the accent, and it's like, why not? But like, they're not gonna do the accent. She's gonna be a patient rather than a psychiatrist, which is dumb because, again, Harley Quinn's whole origin is that she's supposed to be an asylum worker, so they have to change her origin completely. They said a bunch of, yeah, they have to change a bunch of stuff to make this version of Harley Quinn work because
I might not like the second one then. I don't know how I feel about that. The accent I can see, because I don't know, because like I said, Lady Gaga, she's a singer. I don't know if they're doing the accent because of her.
Yeah.
I think this is her first movie, correct?
No. She was in The Fault in Our Stars, or no, not The Fault in Our Stars. What was it? Fuck, she's been in a few movies. What was that movie?
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's probably it's no movies that I watched.
Yeah, not The Fault in Our Stars. What movie am I thinking of? Hold on.
I like that. I don't like how he's gonna do that. I'd rather him stick to the origin.
A Star Is Born. Sorry, that's the one that I was thinking of. She was in A Star Is Born.
Oh yeah, she was. That was the country.
Yeah.
The country singer movie, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't.
But yeah, no, and it's just like, and I like the accent. I could kind of see. I think the biggest problem is you could have her do the accent. You just don't have to make like obviously like in terms of like animation and movies like and you can make it more exaggerative. You can be like she's from Boston, or I think she's supposed to have like a Boston accent. So she's kind of like very expressive with it.
New Jersey.
New Jersey, that's what it is. Thank you. Yeah, Jersey. So she has that Jersey accent that's very, very loud and obnoxious and just goofy. And it's fun and silly. And a lot of times she's in an animated form, so it works. But you can have the Boston accent not extreme. And if you know what I mean? Like, you don't need to... She doesn't have to be like, I was a doctor too! Like, you can lower it and make it like a normal speaking voice and still give her the accent. But I could understand, like you said.
Look at Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
So look at Margot Robbie. She does the accent.
Yeah, and she's very expressive with it a lot.
It's be the best Harley Quinn we ever see.
Yeah. I think it's what you said. I think what it is that probably Lady Gaga just didn't want to do the accent. I could very much see that.
That's what I'm saying. It's Lady Gaga. Come on, she's like.
Yeah.
You know how.
She's expensive. So I could see that, and if that's the case, it sucks. But I get it. That's not that big of a deal. I think changing the origin of how
for sure.
Specifically
I
do
like that.
Like if you want to change the origin a little bit, go for it. Like whatever. But the whole point of their relationship is that he corrupts her. Like that's why.
Yeah. He manipulates her.
Yeah.
In the asylum while she's the doctor or whatever she is.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I think he pushes. Doesn't he in the comic? Doesn't he push her in like a big tub of acid?
No, that was just for the Suicide Squad. Or Suicide Squad.
I thought that was...
What are we? Some kind of Suicide Squad? Yeah, no, that doesn't. In the comics. Yeah, no, in the comics, she willingly goes crazy. Which, that's like a big thing about Harley Quinn, is that she's not really crazy. She's just has issues.
Did you see the Penguin limited TV series?
I have not watched it yet, but I've heard that it's...
I haven't. I don't think it's out yet.
Oh, is it not out yet? Yeah, I didn't...
I don't think so, but they have the same actor that played in the new Batman movie.
Yep.
That played Penguin.
Yep.
Yeah. I thought he did a really good job in the Batman movie.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that suit and the makeup is absolutely amazing. Because, I don't know if you know what...
I watched Gotham, and I like the Penguin in Gotham.
I love Gotham. I was just talking about Gotham a few weeks ago. Gotham is one of the best television shows in terms of Batman. Just because Gotham is a great example on how you can change an origin story and still make it work, not only in live action, but also make it your own. Because a lot of the stories in Gotham are very different than what they do in the comics, and it works.
They didn't even have Joker. They had Jerome.
Yeah, exactly, and it was so silly and dumb, but it worked. And even with like...
So good, like the Riddler?
Yes, exactly. The Riddler, I think, is one of the best examples in that show.
He was so good. The Riddler was good. Penguin was good. All of them are good in my opinion. I thought it was a really good TV show, and I was kind of sad that they discontinued it.
Literally, the only in Joker, in Gotham, the only bad thing that they did in Gotham in terms of like origin and character was Poison Ivy. That was the only bad thing that they did, and that's because the writers.
You didn't like her?
Well, I liked her at first. I liked the idea of her being like a really creepy, like sort of loner girl, like as like a kid, because that works in her story. Harley or Poison Ivy before she becomes Poison Ivy, when she's just Pamela, she is that creepy plant girl. Like so, they built into that and it worked. But then the writers were like, "What if we got really horny?" and we made her an adult. And it's like, how do you plan on doing that? And they were like, we're going to...
Because Catwoman and Ivy are the same age.
Yeah, and my biggest problem was they were like, what if we aged her up? And it's like, how do you plan on doing that, writers? And they were like, we're going to take this 10-year-old girl and we're just going to put her in the body of an adult woman. And that counts, so we can be horny and it doesn't count. It's like, have you ever worked on an anime before, Gotham writers? Like, this isn't sounding good. Like, and that's like a big thing in the show is that she's still a child. Like, she still has the brain of a child. She doesn't even understand her powers to an extent. Like, she doesn't understand the concept of, like, lust. And for a very long time in those first few episodes. So it's like, you've just put the brain of a child into an adult woman, and you're like, close enough, let's move on. And it's like, you could have just kept her a creepy girl. I would have very much preferred for them to just keep her a creepy little girl the entire series. Because part of the whole series is that we, as the audience, know who these people are going to become. We know that Bruce Wayne becomes Batman. We know Selina becomes Catwoman. So part of it is like, we know that this creepy little girl is going to turn into a really hot, scary plant lady. You didn't have to do that early.
Yeah, but I think they did it because maybe it has to do because they knew that they were going to continue on with the seasons. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was kind of upset that they stopped making it because I really loved Gotham. My favorite part was watching the Oswald become Penguin. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. I think it went on for quite some time though, didn't it?
For sure it did.
I think Gotham went on for Gotham went on for 5 seasons. That's insane.
Like, if you're a Batman fan and you haven't seen Gotham yet, I would definitely recommend watching. It's really good.
Absolutely. Like, and 5 seasons is absolutely insane. I think, and realistically, I think the only one Gotham got as far as it did was because of the Arrowverse and because it was in the same sort of time frame.
Yeah. Which, I think, me personally, I like TV series better than movies. You can get more, it's hard to, you can mess up on an episode, but you can bounce back the next episode, you know what I mean?
I agree with that.
Like a movie, if you mess up on a quarter of the movie, the whole movie's ruined.
Absolutely, yeah. Because you're just going to remember that part of the movie.
Like, did you see, Star Wars Lucasfilms that they announced, that they're making a Mace Windu TV series?
I have not seen anything about that. When was that announced?
I think a couple days ago.
Really?
It could have been fake. I don't know. I saw it. I was scrolling through TikTok and I saw it, so it could be fake.
That's very possible. But I mean, yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that. I would be shocked because I haven't heard anything about that. I think the internet would be freaking out because they would only do it if Samuel L. Jackson came back or at least agreed to it.
Yeah, I think Samuel L. Jackson did because they also they canceled the Acolyte.
The Acolyte, yeah.
I think they canceled that. They stopped making it.
Yeah, they did. They canceled that after 1 season. I think that's something that's very important for modern television is that a lot of these... I think we're going to start getting a lot less television now simply because what's going to end up happening is the majority of television, I think the majority of television everyone always says, in my opinion, everyone's always like, yeah, the first season's really bad and then it gets really good. I think the majority of television is like that. Everyone says the first season is meh to just being okay, but then it gets better, as it goes on. And I think that we don't have a chance of that anymore. I think that
I don't know. Have you ever seen? There's a couple. I can name a couple of TV shows that are good in the first two seasons, and then like the third season's trash.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's.
Have you ever seen Tokyo Ghoul?
I'm familiar with it, but I've not seen it.
Like then Tokyo Ghoul, like the first two seasons are really good, and then it goes to the third season, and the third season's like literally horrible.
Yeah, I know, but like for me, I think about JoJo's when I like think about that. Like, I think because JoJo, like the first season is really bad comparative, and it's not even bad. It's just very meh comparative to seasons, the rest of the show. And so, as to think like Friends, The Office, like all the classic sitcoms. And when it comes to Star Wars, the Clone Wars, I think, is a great example. The Clone Wars was garbage when it first came out, and I remember, and
the best part of Clone Wars is when the very end, when you know what I mean, Darth Vader and Ahsoka, like towards that end of it is like the best part of Clone Wars.
Yeah, and so it's like, imagine everyone likes the Clone Wars after season one. But we don't even. None of the shows are even going to get a chance at getting a season two to even prove that hey, we can be, because like you said, you can have. You said you can have a the first or the you said you can have one episode be very bad and then you can bounce back later. I think that we're not going to get that anymore because television has changed to being 8 episodes, one season. So I think that you got to think if you have 2 bad episodes in the middle, well, that's a third of your season right there. Kind of like you said about the movie, like if a quarter of the movies, if quarter of a movie's bad, you're gonna be like, that movie was pretty bad. If a quarter of a television show is bad, what's to say that's good?
Yeah, no, I definitely see that. I mean, the only reason I watched the Clone Wars is because Darth Maul. I mean, you really get in the movies, you get none of Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Really, that's the only reason why I watched the Clone Wars. Which I want them to make a standalone Darth Maul TV series.
I honestly don't think they ever will, simply due to I think Clone Wars didn't Clone Wars kind of conclude his character.
Yeah, Clone Wars did. I just wanted to see a live action version of it. It really did. I just think Darth Maul is one of my favorite Siths.
Yeah, I definitely think he's a pretty popular Sith. I think besides Darth Vader, I think Maul's probably I would say Maul's probably the most popular Sith besides Vader.
Some of the older ones, a lot of people want to see Revan. You know, the older Siths.
Yeah, but I'm going with when I say popular, I'm talking like general audience.
Yeah, it's like Darth Vader's number one, and
then Maul, I would say.
Maul's up there. Because I mean, Darth Vader's literally all the Star Wars. He's in everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I like I said, yeah, I think he's probably the most popular.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't know if I watch that Joker movie now since you said that. I didn't know that about that. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, no, I'm still probably gonna watch it just like out of curiosity, but I'm not. Like I said,
if you didn't like the first one, you might not even like the second one, honestly.
Yeah, and I do think that. I think that, like I said, I was excited when they said it was going to be a musical, but now they're downplaying the fact that it's a musical, and I'm like, ugh. Because I think that the Joker 2 would be significantly successful if it was a musical, at least in my opinion. I think that a lot of
Yeah.
people, because like I said, a lot of people who liked Joker 1, they liked the old school style it has of it being like a De Niro movie. And so I think that
Yeah.
if they were to parody the musical aspect, I think a lot of people would be into that. And just in my opinion.
But the thing is it wasn't actually Joke. It's not Joker. It's what's his name? It's Fleck.
Yeah,
So what's the
he's
difference?
yeah, but he's the Joker.
What's the difference? It's the same. They're just joke. It's the same Joker.
I mean, yeah, it's just Todd Phillips doesn't want his Joker to be the Joker for whatever reason.
Um,
But yeah, he's still the Joker.
I mean, oh, we'll see. I was really shocked when I heard that Lady Gaga was going to be Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were. I don't think anybody was. And again, I think that's also part of why a lot of people were excited about the musical aspect of it.
We'll see how it goes. I don't know, but it was cool talking with you. But I gotta go.
All right, bro. Thank you. All right, I'll see you
All right, no
around, bud.
problem. You take it easy.
All right, bye. Brandon, I don't know. Joker 2 and Venom 3 just don't have the hype for me. Actually, I gotta disagree with you there. Venom 3 looks so good. I personally didn't. I saw the first Venom film. I thought the first Venom film was decent. I haven't seen the second one. I know a lot of people were disappointed about the second Venom film. Um, but Venom 3 is that movie. It looks so crazily dumb. I cannot wait for Venom 3. Venom 3 looks to me very similar to how Kong versus Godzilla was, or Kong X Godzilla. Um, Kong X Godzilla, like the whole thing just kind of appeared like it was sort of a goofy turn your brain off film. I think that's what Venom 3 is going to be. It looks alright. I guess hype is a taboo movie. Yeah, exactly. It does. It looks like a fun, stupid, silly movie. And they just announced this morning, actually, I think in the latest trailer, that Null is gonna be the villain, and that blew a lot. A lot of people are very happy for that. I'm very happy for that. But yeah, again, I think that it looks very silly. It looks. I think that's the biggest part about Venom. It looks silly. Tired of people photoshopping Andrew Spidey. Yeah, a lot of people are very, very wanting of Andrew Garfield to return. I don't think Marvel's ever gonna let him return. I think Marvel's done with him, just in my opinion. Just because I don't see, from a Marvel standpoint, what would be the benefit of bringing Andrew Garfield back. Like, there's no, and maybe there is that I just don't know about. I personally don't see it. Also, heard a rumor we're getting a Soldier Boy spinoff show. That is correct. That is not a rumor. That is very true. It's going to be a pre-Vault show. It's going to have Jensen Ackles, and it's going to have Aya Cash, who played Stormfront. They're going to be the main characters in the show. Um, they actually have a name for it, I think. It was Vault. Oh, Vault Rising. I think I have to look it up. It was called Vault Rising. That is the name of the show, and so it's going to be taking place in 1950, and it'll have Jensen Ackles as Soldier Boy and Aya Cash as Stormfront. I think my biggest problem with that though, I think the boys hype is gonna be like because I've talked about it a billion times and I just talked about it a minute ago. Um, the way that movies are currently going, they're just not good. Like or not movies, television. I mean, television is so slow to be produced, a lot of people are going to start losing interest. Part of the reason why television as a medium works is because you don't have to wait 8 months in order, or you will really only have to wait 8 months. You don't have to wait 2, 3, 4, 5 years in order to see a television show on on TV. That's what a movie's for, and a lot, like I said, a lot of hype around a television show is the way that television exists and the way that it's given to the people. I think that the hype of shows are dying down, and that it's so slow, and all we get is like 8 episodes. That's exactly correct. And I'm so irritated that I made a video about this like 2 months ago, or a month, I don't even, maybe like a month ago, and everyone in my comments was like, "Oh, you're just complaining," and then I saw two hot girls make the same video I made, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, you're so correct. I agree with you." Why? I will transition if it makes my points more valid. God damn. Anyways, sorry, little. But yeah, no, I think that television is dying. Maybe if you had a rack on you. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Fuck, dude. I just like, I don't even need to transition fully. I'll do like Finster and I'll just become, I'll just put on a skirt. And do my makeup. Sorry. But yeah, no, like seriously, like I made this point and now everyone's agreeing. Now after my video ran out of circulation, I'm like, God damn. But yeah, no. I think television is a dying art form, not because people don't like television, but because these studios don't understand television. These studios are under the assumption that these studios don't understand that people want television for the same reason they want movies, when that's the exact opposite. People want television for the exact opposite reason they want movies. They want a long, stretched out story over a period of time. They want to get to know the characters in goofy, silly, funny situations that don't matter the overall plot. They want a long, slow burning story, like The Ross and Rachel, or How I Met Your Mother, or something of that sort. They want the television to show up at the same time every year, with 20-something episodes that'll last them until the next season over. So it's like, you don't need, these 5-year-long spans of television and only giving us 12 episodes in these 5 years. People are going to start losing interest. That's why Stranger Things started to lose interest. That's why The Boys is starting to lose interest. That's why Invincible lost interest. Invincible died immediately when season 2 dropped. Everyone's like, oh, Invincible's back, Invincible's back, Invincible's back. And then Invincible went on a hiatus after 4 episodes. And everyone was like, Invincible, what's wrong with you? And then, no one really talked about the finale. People talked about the finale for the first maybe week that it was out, maybe 2 weeks, but after that it just died out. Let's see, let me respond to Brandon, because you said stuff and I'm ranting. Then you'll get those nerds commenting that the Acolyte chick was talking about. So I'm doomed either way. People are either gonna listen to me and tell me that I'm wrong because I'm ugly, or they're gonna tell me I'm wrong because I'm a woman. That's it. And I'm a black woman too. Oh no. Alright. TV is for the universe. Movies are for a condensed plot. That is beautifully said. I love that. I agree with that entirely. All of Loki could have been one season or maybe even to a 2-hour movie. That's the biggest problem with the Marvel films. Marvel killed television. I know a lot of people are going to be like, Stranger Things. I think Stranger Things definitely hurt television. I'm not going to deny that. I think Stranger Things hurt television a lot based on how slow they were making it. But in terms of episodes, I think of shows like the HBO shows like Dexter, which only had a few episodes per season, and it was still really good. But at least Dexter came out every single year. You know what I mean? It came out, time after time after time. When it comes to Marvel, I think that Marvel killed television because Marvel was the worst. You could argue Stranger Things, and I get that. I think that's a fair argument. I would say it's Marvel because Marvel started the. We're only gonna do a few episodes, introduce all these characters. We're gonna spend hundreds of millions of dollars on these on per episodes. And now that's it. That's all you're gonna see. And if you want to see the rest, you're gonna have to go to this connected universe. I really do think Marvel killed it by what was it? WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Loki. Those three, especially because here's the thing, right? Loki, WandaVision, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier only worked because they were riding off of the coattails of Endgame, right? WandaVision was the first television show after Endgame, and then of course you had Winter Soldier and Loki. I really think I agree with you. Loki could have been a little long movie. WandaVision could have been a movie. Falcon and the Winter Soldier could have been a movie. Moon Knight was god awful. That couldn't have been a movie, but it was god awful. God damn it. How are you detecting inactivity when I'm ranting? That doesn't make any sense. Focus, TikTok. Anyway, sorry, TikTok's irritable. Yeah, no, I think that they could have. I think the biggest thing is they spent egregious amounts of money on it. They didn't care about the actual plot. They cared about the plot of the overall connecting universe. And people still love them. That's the biggest thing about all of this. People still loved these shows because they were riding off the coattails of the MCU. And I think people really like Elizabeth Olsen. I think people really like Tom Hiddleston. I think people really like Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie. And I think that because of the hype around them, other studios saw this and people are hype about this. They're short, they're sweet, they're concise, and we can force people. There was something that I saw when they first came out. This is very, very great marketing. I was like, great marketing. If let's say you were like, I only want to watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or I only want to watch WandaVision, you can get a free trial to Disney Plus for 1 month. So you have 1 month of free content. Now you have episodes 1 through 4 of WandaVision. Well, in order to watch the last two, you need this subscription. You only need two. So you need to get this subscription. A lot of people don't feel comfortable pirating. I get that. A lot of people don't even know how to pirate, which I also get that. But because of that, your choices are that's it, really. You have to because of the way that it is. And if you're afraid of pirating or you don't want to pirate, you're going to watch the first 4 episodes for free. And then you're going to buy 1 month of subscription for $15 to watch these last two. Well, now you've watched the last two. Now you have 2 weeks of this streaming service. What are you going to do with it? Well, you just paid money for it. You might as well see what's next. Oh, what is this? We have a Loki show. I just really like the WandaVision show. And now you're trapped in a cycle. And I think that a lot of companies saw this and a lot of companies are going with it. And I think that it works. I think that it really, unfortunately, as a business model, it's a really good business model. And so I think that's where television is at now, unfortunately. I ranted for a long, long time. I'm going to have fun editing this because I ranted for so long. But, yeah. Hello, hot dog flavor. Oh yeah, I'm drawing Peter. By the way, I don't know if you guys on YouTube have noticed this yet, but yeah, I'm drawing Peter. I don't know if you could tell by the reference of Peter that I have up, but yeah. Now I do think what the truth of the matter is though, I think that there's going to be a crash in the market for streaming services because a lot of these streaming services are simply not um, they're simply not making their money at the end of the day. That's a big thing about it. There's no money being There's no money being made on these streaming services. There was a report. Damn it! There was a report very recently that Apple TV gets as many viewers in 1 month as Netflix does in a single day, and I think that that is probably very true for a lot of streaming services. I think a lot of streaming services have these very bad numbers, just to be frank, just very ungood numbers, if you will. And so I think that a lot of these streaming services are about to shut down um, because they're poor. And I think it's going to be a very I actually have a theory on where I think television is going. I'm not going to say it's going to be my theory because I want to make a whole YouTube video about this. But I have a theory on what I believe television is going to, and I think it's going to involve streaming services. But I think that this basically works as a cautionary tale for a lot of artists and a lot of creators because once these streaming services go out, there's no um, there's no collecting of data. You know, you could say I worked on a television show that doesn't exist because these streaming services aren't existing and making um, they're not making physical copies because they want it to be a streaming service exclusive, and now they're going to shut down, and now that streaming service doesn't exist, and that cartoon, that film, that movie, it doesn't exist anymore. I think it's a big problem.